might be to start ticking these off.
Is it free to put in Yelp and Thompson?
Yeah, so all you do is you go to these places and you find the bit where it says add your business, and you add your business. And in doing that, you will open yourself up, it will be like floodgates opening, you will open yourself up to a myriad of spam telephone calls. They will all ring you up in order to verify your listing, in order to flog you stuff. So you just verify your listing and say no to all the stuff that they want to flog you. So like Yelp, for example, they want to sell you a new website, they want to sell you AdWords management, they want to sell you all of this kind of stuff. You just got to say no and just go through the process, get yourself validated, they'll stick you on your directory. It won't be a premier listing because you haven't paid them any money, but nevertheless you're now listed on Yelp. And Google will find that because it indexes Yelp on a regular basis. So go through and tick them all off. And yes,
Some of those sites use no follow links, though.
sorry?
Some of those sites use no follow links on Facebook.
It doesn't really matter whether they do or don't. Just don't overthink this. You're getting a bit techie.
But is there any point in putting links on those sites if Google's not going to follow them through?
All no follow is an indication to a browser that that the link is not supposed to be indexed. Yeah, that's all it is. But Google is trying to work out whether you're an authentic business. So let's not overthink why Google is going. What Google's going to do with the data? Google knows there's a link from one site to another. You know, so rather it would take you as long to work out which of these are follow and which of these are no follow as it would to just smash them all in. You know, so again, I could go and try and find out whether the local BNI chapter's member directory is follow or no follow links. Could do, just get a link on there. You know, the accountant might be a no follow or it might be a follow. It doesn't matter. A normal business will end up having a profile of follow and no follow links to it. Now, Google has a record of every single one of those links, whether or not it bothers to go down from a spider perspective. So I just wouldn't overthink it, you know, because the moment you start overthinking it, you start to create a profile within Google that looks abnormal. It looks like you're gaming the system. So imagine you've got a link profile in the world that is 100% follow. That would be a bit weird. Whereas if all you've done instead is go out and contribute on local forums and you get some of those links coming back, and yeah, some of them will be follow and some of them will be no follow.
And also I've got a really interesting thing to think about this. So Google, if you've got Google Analytics on your site, it will see all the sources of traffic that's going to your website. So therefore, if you have a no follow link from Yelp, for example, then it will still see that you're getting traffic from Yelp, and that will be a ranking factor that you're getting traffic from different links. And it may go through Yelp and not spider and go down those links, but my actual thesis behind it is that it will still spider and go through those links. It just is a way of that website saying these links aren't important, these links are important. So it's almost like a tiered system for the website owner to say important versus not important. But it's still a ranking factor if you're getting traffic from Yelp, regardless of if it's a no follow or follow link.
I mean, the real point of no follow, if you think about it, is when you're highlighting a page on your website that you do not want in the index. Yeah, so that's why you would make a page no follow. It's because you don't want that content being put into the index. Yeah. So for your site, if you've got this keystone content, you would say this is the stuff I really want, and this is the stuff that I'm not interested in you indexing at all. So you might have a link to your members area or something rather. You don't want them to go down that and index all of that content. But in terms of reaching out to the rest of the world, I just wouldn't worry about it. I would just get on and try and the key is to get lots of nice local links.
How does this play if you're not local but you're national? Would you view London as local? Or can you?
No, I wouldn't. And unfortunately for you, your business is a national thing. So you've got the challenge that anybody else that's going national.
But you still apply these general concepts.
You still need loads of backlinks coming into your website. Yeah. And you would be mad not to get big ones straight away because these are just obvious ones to get. you could probably expand this list. If you Google around the web, you'll find other places that will link to you. I was putting one in the other day, we'll come on to why, but I was putting one in which was a link from a Birmingham address to the local business around here. You can do it. That particular website will put a link to anyone. So there are loads of places out on the web, and it all depends on how competitive your space is. So if you find yourself up against 5 competitors and each one of them has got 400 backlinks, well, you've got some work to do. So you take the links where you can get them. Whereas if you come across, I don't know what the collective term is for an accountant, but accountants do not do this stuff. And therefore you'll probably find in our example before, the accountants in Chelsea have not had a program of backlinks. So if you ran a query on their sites, you'd probably find they've got 10 or 15 maybe organic stuff that's just built up through their networking. So if you wanted to overtake that, it wouldn't be that hard.
What about the relevancy of the site's linking? Because I've been told that it's also important to get relevant links, not just
So that's
any old.
the thing that we covered this morning about links being better or worse. That's what I was saying about the Queen's thing. It's a highly regarded in terms of its reputation.
So I meant relevant to my sector.
So relevance, what we're talking about here is we're talking about creating local links. So that's why it's relevant to you, because you're a local business. So you surround yourself by a whole bunch of local links. And these local links might, if you're running one of the tools, these local links might actually get a very low score.
Right.
But they are hyper relevant to you because they point to the fact that you're actually in this locality.
Got it.
Whereas if you're trying to go national, then getting a whole bunch of low trust links that happen to be hyperlocal is actually irrelevant to you because you're trying to score nationally. Whereas here we're talking about local. So how can we make ourselves seem like a pillar of the local community? Well, let's get those local links. One of the sites that is being marked as relevant locally is a site called Nextdoor. Come across that website. Now, I don't think those links are follow links. I think they are no follow links, and yet people have been doing tests
I
on
think they're follow links, I use that.
Oh, cool.
it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So that's a global site.
Yeah, I actually get a lot of business on that.
Yeah.
Quite good, I don't know anything about it, but it's
That's a global site, and yet because it's broken up into sections, and actually it's a very, very tight geographical thing. I think I'm in my areas, in Egham, I'm in Thorpe. So I'm not even in Egham, even though I'm only around the corner from Egham, I'm in Thorpe. I think you can register for 5 different, do you know?
I don't know exactly that.
I think you can register for more than one area.
I'm in 10 different neighbourhoods.
Next door. It's called Next
Yeah,
door.
you
It's seriously
invite
good.
them, don't you? You invite them into the network.
So it's like everything in your local area.
Yeah, it's a seriously good. It's like Bark. It's a good local, hyper local job, almost job board. My sister. So my sister's in Fulham. We went there with my kids in the morning, and she wanted to do a barbecue in the afternoon. She realised the garden was completely overrun with brambles. She went out to Nextdoor. She found someone to come in whilst we went out for the day, clear a whole garden, and when we came back, the garden was clear, and that's Nextdoor. It's an amazing. I mean, she's obviously in Fulham, so there's lots of people, but if you are in local, like say Boilers or whatever it is, just jump on something like Nextdoor. It's fantastic.
And you can set up alerts so that it will send you emails of the most recent posts. And in a hyper-local space, you'll get one email with maybe 4 or 5 new things in it. So it's not particularly hard to keep on top of it. And they will ask, can anyone recommend X? And so Richard, as a plumber, he could have a deal with a local electrician company. And whenever somebody asks anyone recommend a good electrician, Richard jumps on and recommends them. Because recommending yourself is sort of frowned upon a little bit. So he recommends the electrician jumps on and recommends the plumber. Before you know it, and it's generally the first recommendation that's going to get the immediate lead. And as long as Richard doesn't screw up that immediate lead, it's his business for the taking. So you sort of got to be on this. But and there are, if you look into the T's and C's, it is okay to promote yourself, but often there are cultures around this, which mean that those that do overtly promote themselves get a lot of flack. So you have to just be gentle. It's a local community, So it's your reputation. You've just got to be careful.
There was another point, because Leon brought it up. Remember right at the start of today, Leon talked about Fiverr, and he talked about how he's using that to go find people to be able to then connect with and target. Well, look behind you, there's 30 bits of work there to put the same bit of content on. You've got your name, your phone number, your address, there's various website links that you want to put on. It's the same content you kind of want to put on these 30 sites. You all have these 30 sites in your workbook. And so you can take simply a picture of that, you can stick it onto Fiverr. For $5, you can go find someone to go and put your stuff on all of those sites. Jobs are good, and you've got 30 local citations.
And this is all online. It's free. It's on Whitespark's website. So you can just grab the URL and just say, I want to be able to do this. Yeah. Be careful. Remember what we were saying before. You have to be consistent in the data. So I would hire somebody who knows what a citation is. Don't hire a VA that has never done citations before and say, I want my profile put on each of these, because they won't understand the relevance of getting it absolutely consistent on every site. Whereas somebody who does citations for a living, God help them, it's such a dull job. But if you do citations for a living, you know this stuff matters. And so hire somebody that's got a bit of experience in creating the citations.
Doesn't it autofill?
Best of luck with that, though.
No.
And even if it did, I would be really careful. Because even generally autofillers don't always get it right. And if you get it wrong, you just create it with consistency.
That's where it says first line of address, second line of address,
That's right. Absolutely.
commas.
Spaces, all that kind of stuff. Generally, I would recommend you don't use punctuation on your addresses anywhere, because then you won't trip up. So don't do commas, don't do that kind of stuff. But just work out what your standard address is going to be, and then use that consistently everywhere. Okay, so now we've done all of the obvious stuff. Yeah, so we've brainstormed all of the local directories, and we have also bundled all of the big stuff on there. So we're now starting to get maybe 30, 40 backlinks to our website. But we might still be up against a competitor that has got 70 or 80. So how do we get from where we are to where they are? And the hard way is actually really doing the work, finding places that should be linking to you, and putting up relevant content so that they do,